Hello and welcome. We are here today in Palestine with Jamal Juma, who's been one of the key persons in the campaign against the wall, as well as the boycott campaign, which is now going all over the world. My very little time that I have spent here, occupation is all pervasive. It is there in every facet of Palestinian life. You cannot go from a place A to a place B, which may only be 20 minutes, 30 minutes by road, without encountering occupation at least 3 times. So this is the picture which people outside do not have when they talk about West Bank today. So can you tell our people in more detail in how many ways everyday life you encounter occupation?
I mean, this situation that we have it now is just like it is cemented this way after they start building the wall. The wall came and encircled the Palestinian populated areas, as well as isolated Palestinian land and divided the Palestinian areas from each other. And it is in this way just like divided the land and gave it the majority of it to the Israeli colonies. The Israeli colonies, since they starting the occupation in '67 and building these settlements, they built it on a very studying, let's say, or way that they make it like
it's a very pre-planned way.
Yeah, it's like to make. They did it in a way that it's not like, as they say, randomly, where like the settlers came and occupied the areas. It has been planned strategically to control the Palestinian people, to control the Palestinian land, and also to control the main resources. If you talk about the Jordan Valley, this is the first settlement that had been put in '68 in the West Bank was in the Jordan Valley, because they know what the Jordan Valley for them. Strategically, it is the link for the Arab world, and also it is like the biggest reserve of agricultural land to the Palestinians in the future. It's one of the most fertile areas in the world. Besides, it's controlling 30% of the West Bank, and lying resting on the second biggest aquifer of water.
Second biggest aquifer?
Aquifer of water. Underground water. From the other side of the West Bank, they start building the settlements, what they called it seven stars. And if you look where they built it, it's the same way. They built it like on the Green Line to do 2 things: to separate Palestinians from Palestinians, 48 from 67, and to not just 67 from 48, but also to divide Palestinians' continuity between both sides, like either the Palestinian communities in 48 built in between them settlements, and also Palestinians in 67 in between the cities also settlements, not to allow these communities to get together or to match together and to form a continuity of Palestinians across the what's so-called the borders in that area.
Isolate the Palestinian communities with settlements.
Yes. Of course, it doesn't stop at the settlements. You talk about the facilities for the settlements, networks of roads, electricity, and all this infrastructure. It has been done in the middle of in between the Palestinian areas, which became today is apartheid roads. Palestinians can't drive on it. This network that has been connected the settlements together slices the Palestinian areas, slices it like not just in 3 main parts as we see in the West Bank today, but within each also district or each part, it slices it to different places. That's where one of the things that make the Palestinian movement inside the Palestinian is very difficult. Under the context of protecting the settlements, they start putting checkpoints. These checkpoints, we are talking now about 630 checkpoints in the West Bank, in between cities in between cities and villages, even in the same district, between the city and its villages that's related to it. So now that's what you were talking about. When you in a distance that needs maybe 15 minutes, you need to have an hour with this regulation that they put. This is not done in like an innocent way, or just like for the. It has been planned. It has been planned for the future, that the Palestinians won't be able to form a kind of like any nation or a country. They want to keep them fragmented, so they won't have like a common identity. The best example of what's going on there is Gaza. Since the occupation 67, they work on dividing Gaza from the West Bank. Today, it's impossible for you from the West Bank to go to Gaza and vice versa. You have generations that, like below maybe the 35 years old, they don't know, they never been in Gaza, or the Gaza will never be in the West Bank. It's created a kind of two societies with two cultures, with two identities. And without the media, without the television, without telecommunications, we will not ever have any communication.
Jamal, apart from this, when even in the so-called Palestinian areas, you have A, B, and C categories. Can you explain what these categories are?
This is one of the main failures of Oslo. Oslo agreement that has been signed between the Palestinian Authority, or the PLO, and the Israeli government at that time. It's supposed to be this agreement as a temporary plan, or like transition plan, for 5 years to establish a Palestinian state. So in order to do that, what they did, they divide the Palestinian areas that controlled by the Palestinian Authority, full control, which is the main cities, centers even. In some cities like here in Ramallah, the border of Area A is just like 100 meters far away from here, where we are on the edge of the center almost. So this is the Palestinian Authority, Palestinian police authorities there. But also the security supposed to be the Palestinian Authority, but Israel never stopped invading the Palestinian cities inside. Area B is the areas around the main cities, which is like the villages around the main cities. And not all of them. The villages that located between the settlements usually, or close to the settlements, they remain Area C. Area B is that the Palestinian communities in these areas, in these villages, socially and economically, the Palestinian Authority is responsible over them, but security, the Israeli responsible over them. Area C, the rest of the West Bank and Gaza at that time, which is the settlements, the open areas, what's so-called state land, and which is almost the half of the West Bank. And this is Area C, which is full Israeli control. Palestinian Authority have nothing to do in that area.
So effectively 50% of the West Bank, even after how much, 15 years, 16 years of the Palestinian Authority, is completely controlled by Israel.
It's controlled by Israel. And this 50% is the agricultural resources, is the water resources, it's everything, it's Jerusalem. So this is the, if you want to talk about Palestinian state and resources, it's in this area. And it's also more than that even. It is the area and the reserve of the land where these areas can be expanded in the future. The development, without these areas, they're not developed.